below 13.
Oh. 13 flat, puts him to pole so far.
And these are all lap records, lap by lap here that we're turning. We're already half a second under the record which was set yesterday.
Gap Boss for the 14 flat. He's going to have more up his sleeve. Sat out most of the second practice session yesterday. He wounded a couple of tyres, so didn't do much.
This is Eddie Abel-Nisa running wide. The Darwin's
high line there.
Darwin's cheapest cars, Falcon.
To the speedway.
He's turning left after all. Now the Wilson Security Pace Mustang here is turning another fast lap.
25.1, so he's 2/10 up. Second sector not as good.
I'll tell you what, we didn't really see much from Jim Richards yesterday in practice. He was there or thereabouts. He's the only other guy to claim a pole position at this track other than John Bowe. So maybe Gentleman Jim's found something today in the javelin. Fourth gear. Get the diff ratios right in practice so you're just about on the absolute edge by the time you get to the end of that big long straight. Jim Richards not looking like he's going to go improving that 1:13.0 here. He does and he's backed off, but I tell you what, John Bowe's on a time. He has just lit up a couple of green boxes and he goes to number 1 as well.
There's your first 12.
John Bowe lays down the first 12 we've ever seen here in Touring Car Masters, a 1:12.8. So it's Bowe, Richards, Johnson, Miedeke in a scorecard that resembles something in the 80s.
Jimmy's 2/10 up on, now 2/10 up on JB's first sector.
Oof,
so he's cooled it down.
Here comes JB in the Gary O'Brien built Tirana. That was exceptional on debut. I mean, he just smashed everyone, took pole by a very large margin at the last round of Winton and went on to win all 3 races.
He's going to get traffic here.
He's got 6 pole positions at this track before.
This is a better lap.
Is Richo going to let him go? That's the question. What's Stephen Johnson got now? This looks like it's going to be quicker than the 1:12.8. How fast do we go? We're predicting mid-12s.
12.6, there you go. It's close enough to a mid-12.
The times are tumbling earlier than we saw at the last round of Winton, but this will be the number. Oh, Bowe jags to the left to get around Gavin Bullis.
That would have helped him a little bit of a toe.
1:12.6 the time to beat. Can he take number 1 from his teammate convincingly?
He's laid it down.
The better part of 3/10 and 2 hot laps in a row. I doubt that he'll have to worry about a third.
Oh, he's rolled out of it. The entire conservation mode now.
Miedeke 4th, Gomersall 5th, Crick 6th. And big names rising to the top of the order. That was an entertaining little 5-minute period. There goes Cam Mason out wide. And he's sitting in 14th at the moment, despite the errors.
Jimmy having another dip.
25.4 to the first sector, so it's not going to be any improvement here. Andrew Miedeke's found something, 25 to the first sector, so turning his best first sector of the session. Okay, now Richo's upped it a little bit through the middle part of this. He might consolidate third, but he certainly won't be taking a front row position away from Bowe or Johnson on this lap, you'd think. Can he get in the 12s at least? No. Loses 5/10.
He's fired his best shot, so the best thing to do now is get in the pit, reset your tyre pressures, see if you can have another go. But I don't think he's got anything to gain, Jimmy. If he finds 3 or 4 tenths, he's not going to improve. So he's really got to consolidate his position there and look for who's going to come from behind him. I think the second row of the grid's as good as he's going to do.
Miedeke there has just been dislodged by this guy, Greg Crick. 1:13.4, and he's just pinched a spot on the second row alongside Jim Richards with that lap, albeit quite provisional with 10 minutes remaining.
Yeah, Cricky had a bit of a swing at the car overnight, really cranked up the rear sway bar just to get it to turn.
Andrew Fisher, who's in that XY Falcon ahead of him, is currently sitting in 7th, so a nice little outing for him so far. And that would put him first out of our Pro-Am category cars. Actually, no, Gomersall would have him covered by the better part of 4/10. This is the man we're looking at right now.
Yeah, Jason's on the fly here.
And and he goes 1:14.0. So not far off his personal best, but it's not in the 13s like he was earlier. He's got his wife, he's got his son, his daughter, all at the track.
So the qualifying just seems to be the Achilles heel for Jason at the moment. He just needs to obviously work on that a little bit better. His race pace is always good, and in practice he was really good. So he's got to learn how to get the most out of the new tyre, which is it's hard to do if you don't race a lot.
Well, he said at Winton he qualified back, I think it was 12th or 13th off the top of my head, and got himself back in the pack where the damage can be made, you know.
You just can't pass anyone unless you move them out of the way. So
yeah, and we saw the damage that he had at Winton. He got fairly boxed in on that first lap. The owner of iSeek, they're an internet hosting company that operate in fairly big business and also government. They've got two massive data buildings in Brisbane and another one in Sydney. Large company that you might see on the doors of a few race cars. He's right on the curb there at turn 13, misses the turn into 14.
That won't really cost him as long as he picked up the throttle. He's just, again, he's got to consolidate his position.
Can he jump to 5th? He'll be tight. No, he'll stay in 6th. He did lose a little bit there in that last sector, but he was absolutely on the edge. And look how busy pit lane is right now. I tell you what, Paul, you've picked this well. You said the quick times would come early. I'm not sure if we're going to see much improvement here from Bowen Johnson.
I don't think you will. The advantage of the green tyre, the new tyre is probably gone. And unless anyone can get near these guys and go again, well, Jimmy's going to have to find 4/10. I don't think he's got that. Cricky would be hanging on doing that time in the old Valiant.
There's that beautiful XY Falcon, and that car will be enjoying the big long straights, but they've been playing with the brakes overnight, adjusting the hats on the rotors and pretty much having to do up 1,000,000 bolts in the process. Long, painstaking job playing with brakes.
I think we'll see a bit of lull here for a while. There's no one really doing much.
And here is Mustang Sally.
Just blew by the commentary box here, so he's out there.
So Stephen Johnson, who has just the one race meeting, he'll be in the commentary box later as well. At the moment, sitting on for a front row start on debut at this track in this category.
Good to see Tony back out there. Look at see the damage on the back of that car. Had a big off yesterday afternoon. Tyre barrier did its job and really saved the day.
Love the big screaming Mustang. Tony K. We call him that because his last name's Karen Filofsky. Good drive out of turn 5. Get the car back over to the right-hand side. Didn't quite get over to the outside curb before making the turn in at 6. And this part of the racetrack, you hear this saying a lot, TV doesn't do it justice, but from here to where he had his accident yesterday is very fast. It's
fast and flowing, and you've got to really commit. If you get it wrong, you're going to back the thing in, which is what he did there yesterday afternoon. He just got a little bit wide, backed the car into the tyre wall.
Used the curbs through the final part of that racetrack, and let's see where Tony K can jump to. He's currently 13th, and this lap should see him bump up maybe
in the 14 somewhere.
Yeah, he could go as high as 10th or 9th. Let's have a look. He does go to 9th.
14.7.
Jumps 4 places with that lap, so nice work. He's a championship leader. He's got the Pro Drive signage down the doors.
Let's see what he can do here. I would have expected a bit more lap time out of him. Didn't run a lot of laps yesterday, no tyre bank. Was hoping that he'd just bolt the new tyres on today and get some speed out of that car.
Goodness me, he's about 9/10 of a second down on the first sector time to John Bower. Nearly lost a whole second.
And when you look at the parts of the racetrack they use to someone like Steve Johnson and John Bower, there's a couple of little tricks of this place that those guys know about. And you're not seeing it here, like especially at the hairpin, you've got to get the inside wheel up on the curb, get it off the ground, make the car rotate in the slow corners. A couple of little secrets to this place that the pros know about. That's just showing in the lap times at the moment.
So Bullis is back down in 8th, and this is the championship leader we're talking about, so he desperately needs to jump up some positions with this attempt. He'll only get 1. So this poison chalice that is the championship lead so far this year is really remarkable. They've been passing it around all season long. This guy had it at one point in Tasmania, and then he...
So he's up on the curb there, nice job.
Nice work.
That helps the car rotate.
He unfortunately didn't score many points at all from Winton after hurting the car, and I think it was practice or qualifying off the top of my head, and then it hasn't been a happy championship since, but this is looking okay for him.
Keith Kasulpi's just bumped up to 9th. We missed that.
So another one of the older two-door Falcons. Talking about it yesterday, weren't we? The Australian-built cars haven't had too much success here. It's usually one for the Yank tanks, this place.
It is, and John Bowles going to turn the tables. On Facebook last night, if you follow John Bowles' Facebook page, a pretty long written novel there from JB about all the lead being thrown in his car. So jump on Facebook and have a look at that. That's worth a read.
Well, they've strapped 100 kilos onto that car since Winton. They've also taken 100 RPM away from him. And clearly hasn't slowed him down that much because he's 3/10 up on the field, including his old car.
Yeah, there's no real case for his argument there.
No, it's not helping.
Not helping, but...
Now, Medeki's trying to steal back 4th position from Greg Crick on this lap. He's been relegated back to 5th after the big Mopar star put him back a spot. Can he get back up alongside Jim Richards on the second row?
Personal bests.
He's looking to beat a 1:13.4, really. And, oh, he sneaks in by a 10th. So, good drive from Mad Andy. He's just bumped Crick back down to 5th, so they've been handballing that spot between the two of them.
Yeah, it moves him up a row of the grid, which is important. That's what he'd be looking for. He's still digging.
Well, he's 3rd in the points, round 1 winner at Clipsal. He won the 2011 round here at Hidden Valley. Good little history that we've had since making our first venture here back in 2008.
And Gav's now on personal best too, so...
Now, Bullis is stranded back in 7th. He might be able to jump Gomasol and take the inside of row 3 here. Can he get up an entire row, though? That's the question. He wants to go to 5th. No, he can't. He just gets that one spot. So that's the difference between starting outside or inside row 3.
Starting out, Steve Johnson's back on the circuit as well. He's left pit lane, so he thinks he might have to protect his position.
Oh,
Johnny Bow and Jim Richards just sitting in the pits. 2 laps to go. The big thing is here, they're limited on their tyres for the weekend, so the least amount of laps you can do in qualifying, the better for the long run in all the races.
So Andrew Fisher now is in 8th, and he's 6/10 off the time of Gavin Bullis in 7th. So it'll be a big ask to take 7th. He can't do it. Stays in 8th.
Just got some top speeds here, and the thing to notice is Johnny Bow's only 6th quickest down the straight, and he's nearly 20 k's slower than Kasulki in the hardtop Falcon.
It's fairly dramatic, isn't it? So
yeah,
that gives you an idea.
Obviously the Tirana working well under brakes, working well around the corners. Keith Kasulki doing 260 k's down the straight here, which is balling.
Abel Nisa just jumped up to 9th, and Cameron Tilley to 10th here in the Valiant Pacer. Not a great track to be running around in a straight 6-cylinder.
So Greg Crick is only doing 246 down the straight, so the Mopar not hauling the mail for Greg.
Tell you what, Gomasol's batting above his average here a little bit in terms of car speed. Doing a really good job to be hanging on to 6th.
Well,
he's ahead of the championship leader.
The thing to look at here, the 2 Tiranas, Gomasol with the Chev motor, 257 down the chute. JB with the Holden engine, 246.
There you go.
So, well, Kenny Mack from KR Race Engines doing a really nice job with the Chev there for
Gomasol.
Yeah.
Now, Cameron Mason's pulled up. This is facing the wrong direction, is it, as well? So it's a bit of an unusual one as to what's happened to the Mustang. Father and son combo
That's
himself.
Cricky, mate. Just suffering from no straight line handling this weekend.
Tasmanian.
Hooked up around the corners, working well, but...
Oh, it's an awkward spot there for Stephen Johnson. Put him on the wrong side of the track. Now, 25-0 to the first sector on this lap for Stevie J. Is 3/10 slower than where he needs to be, but he's got a personal best time here through 2/3 of the racetrack. He needs to find 3/10. And at the moment, the times are saying to us, Paul, that it's not quite going to be there. He will improve his time.
It's not going to happen, but just we're in for a good race, aren't we?
These two are going to be at it all weekend. 1:12.3 to beat. Get in there, Junior. He improves, but not enough to take pole position away, although now there's only 0.11 of a second separating first from second.
That's close, and I'd say